Come on in, guys. Welcome back to another For Honor video. And welcome to the new hero. I forgot his name. Sohei. I don't know. Someone will know how to pronounce it. That's not me. Anyways, today I'm going to be showing you guys how this hero works. The Warriors Den may have already came out by now. I'm not quite sure. I think it has. But just in case they haven't gone into the extensive stuff, I'm going to go into everything with you guys to kind of explain how this hero works, because he's simple and complicated at the same time, because he has, they call stances, but they're not really stances. I wouldn't call them stances. You'll see there in the top corner, it says heavy soul stance, light soul stance. What they are is just kind of limited chains. Now this hero, if you guys haven't seen what he can do, I will show you guys here in a bit, but he has a shot or a move he can do that is a lot of damage. It does 95 base damage without damage boosts of any sort. It's crazy. Now, is it overpowered? Not really sure yet. We'll see whenever we get into actual games. But this character can do this without feats. It's a very unique thing. Now, to kind of counter that, they made this character's other attacks all pretty weak. So to kind of explain how he works, if you throw a light opener, your only other option is another light attack or a chain zone. That's all you got. You can't go light into heavy. You can't go heavy into light. There's no option. The character is very limited. If you ever want to change stances, or not stances, what is stances actually in this case? You would have to use a zone attack to go into it. And the zone is an extension tool after any attack, except for another zone. So if I go, this is the main zone, I can't do another zone. But I could pseudo infinite using that zone. And that chain zone does have hyper armor, and both zone attacks, opener and chain, both have soft fang guard breaks. So it's interesting, and this character, because of these different limited kind of chains, you do have to get used to them. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be throwing heavy and try to finish with like a light attack or something. Now, the unique gimmick with this character is that move I was talking about, the 95 damage attack. The way you get it is by filling up his 6 charges. And by charges, I'm talking about the other weapons that he is not holding. You'll see them here on my back. You'll see the weapons that have the white handles all have like a little white flame above them. Those I have gotten charges on already. Now, the way to get these charges, you can either get them by doing a finisher on that side with a light and a heavy. And you'll notice the white weapons, those are all for light attacks, finishers. And the black weapons are all for heavy attack finishers. So, right one right there would normally fill up that top right one there, but you'll see how it's already filled. And if I do a double heavy on the right side and connect it, you'll notice it's now filled as well. It's kind of hard to see because of my health bar there. There it is. And once you get them all filled, you get a pretty gross attack. I'll show you here real quick so y'all can see it. It's pretty gross. 95 damage. It's honestly just insane. But to counteract it, all his other attacks, like I said, are limited, but the damage is quite low. So if I did like light spam, for example, light opener and decide light finisher, 9 and 6, that's equivalent to like a Warden double light attack. And that ends the chain except for the zone extension. And that only gets me 1 charge. Now, there are a couple other ways to get to your finishers or to get your charges a little bit quicker. The easiest way is going to be through guard breaks. So if you do get a guard break on a target and you want to get, let's say your light attacks all filled. Say you're having trouble getting your light attacks to finish. If you GB, you can do a triple light attack and you refill, or you fill up all 3 charges for the lights. So at this point, all you need to focus on is getting your heavy finishers. And it should be easier for you because if you throw a heavy, you have unblockable pressure. And that comes to the next guard break. If you GB, you can also do 3 heavies. And that will give you all 3 charges on your heavies. So basically with this hero, if you get 2 guard breaks, your charges are filled unless you get interrupted, in the middle of it or something. It's pretty nuts, and in 1v1 duels, this will be probably the only way you're going to get these charges, by getting some guard breaks and maybe a couple of lucky lights, because the lights are pretty damn fast. They're 400 ms, and the top is undodgeable. So the lights you may hit a lot more, but the guard break is going to be your go-to for getting your charges. And it's pretty sick, man. It's pretty sick. This character is known as a resource manager because you do have to manage these charges. And honestly, when you're in mid-combat, it's kind of hard to tell which charges you still need. So there may be cases where you're like, oh man, did I do the top? Man, I don't know. You know, I just did my triple heavy. I want to do my side light, but you know, I may have already done it. You never know. So it's kind of hard. It's one of those things you kind of you got to actively think about. Otherwise, you may never actually hit your charges in a fight. And then really, you're just kind of the weakest hero in the fight at that point, because all your feats are based around getting your charges, which we'll go over feats here in just a little bit. But a couple more things I want to go over with this hero before we get them. So all your attacks you have, like say your bash opener, which he does have a bash opener, you can do a bash light to go into your light chain, or you can do a bash heavy. It's also confirmed you do have a little bit of a bigger hitbox just based on appearance. It is a little bit slower. That lets you get into your heavy finishers, which is pretty cool. So if you do get all your charges on one, gotta open with that and go into those finishers. Now this also works on dodge attacks as well, so you can side dodge light or you can side dodge heavy. And this is, I'm telling you guys, you're gonna be needing to think about this more often than you want to. And I think this is gonna be the main turn away for this character, is getting all these charges, because it's really easy to mess up and not get the right charges if you're not actively thinking about it. But they give you a lot of tools to get into the right stances, which is nice. Now, you do have 2 dodge forward attacks as well, not counting the bash. You got a dodge forward light, which is pretty quick, 9 damage. And you have a dodge forward heavy for 16 damage. It is very slow, and the tracking is kind of interesting. If you dodge early, this does track pretty well on the dodge. If you dodge on time, then you're gonna dodge that shit every time. It's not too hard if you don't panic dodge. And it's not feintable. So if you throw that, it is super slow. If they're ready for it, that's a free parry, crush your counter, deflect, whatever. Now, you can go into your hyper armor zone after if it is like a deflect or something. You might be able to get away with trading with that. But it is pretty slow. Now, the character does get special parry punishes. So if you do parry an attack, you can get a finisher light confirmed off like the heavy parry on any side. And then you can just go into your zone to keep chaining. And this is essentially just a free charge on any side. Now at the moment, I think he is bugged. And you can do a heavy, even on heavy parries at the moment. Now the max damage you get on these is like 20 to 18 damage because his heavy finishers are not very powerful. They're not meant to be because, you know, his main damage is his grab. But at the moment, they're bugged. It's like a 1-frame window to parry them. I'm fairly certain they are working to resolve this, and they may actually resolve this in the final update. Not quite sure, but it is a known issue. So for right now, this is a guaranteed punish, unless you're playing against a cheater, because it is legit a 1-frame parry window, and I, for the life of me, cannot do it. Like, it is near impossible to parry this, which is, it's unfortunate, but I'm sure they'll get it eventually. One last thing I want to mention is his out-of-stand punishes. From what I can tell, they're not very hefty. You can't really get a lot off of them. So if you do get an out-of-stand go, just do like a light in the zone, and you're going to get like a little over 30 damage. And then you could still keep chaining, obviously. So it's not too crazy, but again, most of his damage is meant from this. I mean, look at that damage, dude. Also, you do not get that off an out-of-stand punish unless you just time him on get up or something. There's no confirmed like punish that I could find to time that forward dodge bash. Doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to find one, so I'm sure. Look at the other content creators' videos, because I know everybody probably posted this early access stuff at once. So be looking out. There may be a punish for that, but just in case there's not, it's just light into zone, and then you can just go for pressure from there. You can go into another heavy and go for another light. You know, it's whatever you think is best, but I couldn't find another punish. It's just that simple. For parry, you get a little bit more. You can get a zone attack into heavy finisher for like 44 damage if you do the top, or, you know, it's like 42 if you do the right side. Just don't do the left side. The left side's a bleed, and it doesn't actually work when you get an out-of-stand punish. It's really funky. I'll show you. It's really goofy. So if you do the bleed finisher, it only does 6 damage, and then you don't get the actual bleed. Now, if you want to do it just to get, I guess, your extra like stack on the left side, go for it. But Otherwise, don't ever do the left finisher on this punish. It's just not worth it. Just do the top. And then afterwards you could chain into a zone just to make sure you have a safe, you don't get guard broken there. It's pretty sure you would get guard broken there. Before we kind of get into some of the feat stuff on this, feat stuff, just to get my own personal opinion about how I feel about this hero, he really is, I would say, a risk, high reward character. Sorry, y'all probably heard that car go by. Because his damage, like I said, is very low. And also, I just forgot this guy's on parry, you dick. He is a very risky character because he does not do very high damage until you get that bonus resource. But if you can get the resource, he will kill somebody very fast, faster than anybody else in the game probably. And it's, honestly, it's an intimidating factor if you're against him. Because then to initiate the grab, you just bash forward and you press zone attack. And that's the input for it. And I did not specify that earlier, so I apologize at this point. I will probably put a timestamp earlier in the video to come to this point. But you just do bash and zone to do that grab. Now, if you try it anywhere else, like when you don't have the charge, you just do a light attack, as you saw there. But it's an interesting concept. Now with his feats, his grab is pretty, it just gets better. It just gets a lot better. Now let's talk about the feats. So his first feat, it's like the opposite of Griffin's Stern Stare, where it lowers their attack. His just straight lowers the defense. I don't know the exact percentage. My guess is like 15 to 20%. Single target. It seems pretty good. You also have Iron Lungs and Speed Revive. You're never going to want to use either one of these because this first feat, it's broken when used with his third feat, and I'll go over that here shortly. Second feat, Soul Soother. You literally, if you have all 6 of your souls, you use this and you get a full heal. And I legit mean a full heal. This will make you an anti-ganking monster. If you're about to lose, you obviously aren't going to get the grab. Just pop this thing and you're fine. Because you also have Arrow Strike and Smoke Bomb. You're not going to want to use those. You might use Smoke Bomb just for giggles to maybe get some of your extra like stuff, your charges, but I don't think you'll even do that because your fourth feat will help you get all your charges. So it's interesting. I think all his first feats are going to be your best option. The third feat, this is the gross one. So this one, your damage is increased by 25% whenever you have all 6 souls. This translates to your grab. It's pretty disgusting. So your grab move by default does 95 damage. If you have this feat and you hit a grab, you do 119 damage, which is insane. It is so much damage. That is a near one shot on most characters in the game. And that's assuming they're at full health. If they've taken like any damage, like one light attack, they're probably dead, except for a couple of heroes, or you know, if they got like a passive defense buff or something. It's nasty. And when you stack this with the first feat, Eye of the Demon, lowering their defense and buffing your attack, your grab does 149 damage, which will one-shot every single character in the game. It's disgusting. And the thing is, this is a passive feat. So if you just happen to earn all your souls and you grab somebody, and let's say you didn't even have this, right? Let's say you didn't even have the defense boost or defense debuff. If you get somebody, get all your souls, and you grab them for 119, let's say you killed that guy, right? You killed that guy. And you earn this, like immediately after, you pop this, you have your grab again. And you can grab somebody else and do 119 again, or lower their defense and do 149. Or if they've taken any damage, they're probably gonna die. If there's a Doom Banner around, they're gonna die. It's disgusting. If you have a teammate with scouts as well, they're gonna die. I can say with Chilling Stare, they're dead. He also has Punch Through and Tough as Nails, which Punch Through isn't the worst option, but you're never gonna give up the one-shot ability of not having the, like, this is just too good. This may be one of the strongest feats in the game, like in correlation with a character's like special ability. Like the other ones that come to mind is like Kyoshin. His full guard is super damn strong, but oh, this is so good, man. This is so strong. And then obviously his 4th feat just gives him all his souls. He also has regenerate and arrow storm. You're never going to use either of these literally in any situation I can think of. I don't think you would ever use these. Maybe regenerate, just depending on the mode you're playing, and I don't know. I think you would rather just get all your souls faster, because they're kind of hard to earn. Like I was telling you, they're kind of hard to earn in my opinion. I don't see any reason you wouldn't use these feats. Now here in a bit, I did do some duels with Mr. Solid Soul. So I will be doing duels with feats, so you guys can see the damage firsthand, how it is. So it's interesting, guys. It's interesting. It's a fun hero. One additional thing is they did add a photo mode to this game. Now, if you're in PC and you have an NVIDIA graphics card, there's already a feature called Ansel, which works very similar to this photo mode. And what photo mode does is it lets you do like some free cam stuff, not in this menu in specific because you're just looking at like execution and stuff, but you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. So let's say I do this and let's take a photo right there. There we go. Path saved. It's interesting. Like it's cool. It's a cool thing they added. And this is going to be on everything, by the way. It's going to be on console, PC, everything. And when you're in game, you can do this as well. You can now do this in custom games, which on PC, it wasn't working on custom games. But you can do it in custom games as long as you don't have other people with you. You can also do it in training mode, and you can do it in these menus. So for those of y'all who do fashion contests, or if you're a content creator, you're going to do some cool thumbnails, you can do some pretty cool stuff, man. Like, you want to get a little Hihachi thumbnail here, because I made a little Hihachi skin, you know, Hihachi mixed with Reina. Well, there you go. You could kind of do it here with this throne, you know. But guys, that's it for the overview on this character. Let me know y'all's thoughts down below. Do y'all think he's going to be overpowered? Do you think he's going to be underwhelming? Because like I said, it's a pretty nice, scary ability set with that grab. But how strong is it going to be? I don't know. You know, we'll come to find out. Now, there's going to be more nuanced cases with this grab that I did not display today. I would highly recommend checking out Freeze's video when he posts it. I know they do a lot of testing, and there's a couple of instances where the grab isn't confirmed, and there's cases where you can confirm the grab, and he'll have more details on that. Special shout out to a Break and Run as well as Solid Soul. Both of them played with me in the early access. I'll leave their channel information down below. Go follow both of them if you haven't already. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I do appreciate y'all coming by. I'm still enjoying the For Honor content. Going to be streaming pretty much all day and the next day when this character comes out, because I think the character is super fun and they're kind of hard to use. So I would love to see you guys on my stream. Links to those are in the description. And guys, y'all have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next video.